Hi everyone, I'm Sarah with Commute Seattle, and today we're going to go over our Employee Transportation Coordinator basic training. Here we go. So what we're going to go over today is first a little bit about Commute Seattle, then an overview of the CTR law. After that, we'll talk about what your role is as an ETC and the goals that you're going to be working towards under the CTR program. And last, we'll talk about citywide outcomes of the program. I will also put a link in the description of this video to our Commute Seattle resources page where you'll be able to find a PDF download of these slides. The end of these slides have some really great tactics to consider for your CTR goals. To give you a little bit of background on Commute Seattle, we are a transportation management association and we work with a number of different partners in the city, including the Seattle Department of Transportation, Kane County Metro, Sound Transit, and the Downtown Seattle Association. So Commute Seattle itself is a nonprofit, but we're a public-private partnership and we represent business and government working together. Commute Seattle has a number of different business services for free that help employers create safe and efficient commutes for their employees. So we have a specialist that can help you out with Orca passes and doing Orca for business. We have someone who knows about the commuter benefits ordinance and helps you implement that. We also do fee-for-service consulting along with event and neighborhood-based campaigns, and we work with property managers on transportation management programs. But today what we're talking about specifically is the Commute Trip Production Program, and we have a team dedicated to work specifically with you on this program. So what is the Commute Trip Reduction Law? The shorthand is the CTR law. This was passed in 1991, and it requires employers to work with employees to reduce the number and length of their drive-alone trips. So the trips where someone is driving just themselves in their personal vehicle to get to their work site. And it's actually really interesting. The CTR law stems from the Washington Clean Air Act and the Climate Action Plan. So the whole intention behind the law is to reduce traffic congestion, reduce our reliance and consumption of fossil fuels, and overall improve air quality and improve the environment in Washington so that we can all live in a lovely, healthy state. So who is affected by the CTR law? The CTR law affects Seattle worksites with 100 or more full-time employees. So the law defines a full-time employee as someone who works 32 or more hours a week, who begins work between 6 and 9 a.m., and who anticipates being employed for 12 or more months. And we have received questions around this in the past few years, and the Washington State Department of Transportation, who is in charge of the CTR law, has given us guidance that the program will continue the long-standing practice of treating full-time remote workers as CTR affected. So if you do have workers who come into the office only one day a week or once a month or something like that, they are technically considered CTR affected and should be included in the program. And you can always reach out to us with questions about that. Next, what are the requirements of the CTR law? Under this law, worksites with 100 or more employees must do 5 main things. So first is to designate an employee transportation coordinator. You're listening to this, so you have likely done that. Thank you. Number 2, you must conduct a commuter survey every 2 years, and this measures employees' commute habits. It asks how they get to work and other questions related to that. Number 3, you must submit a program report every 2 years, and this is where you report on the types of benefits you are offering to your staff. Number 4, you have to inform employees about commuter benefits twice a year or have it posted somewhere prominently online or other where employees can find it. And then the bottom line of the law is that you need to exercise a good faith effort by collaborating with the city and with Commute Seattle in the implementation of the law. So we are here to help you with these requirements. We will remind you about the survey and the program report and provide resources throughout the year to help you comply. Part of your role is education. So we try to make this super easy by sending you our On the Move newsletter. This comes every other week, typically on Monday or Tuesday if it's a holiday. So this newsletter has information about our upcoming events, as well as other transportation-related events, education, news, and more. Reading this newsletter is a key piece of your participation in the CTR program, so if you've identified yourself as our new point of contact, you will be subscribed to this. We often share information about requirements that are upcoming through the newsletter. You're welcome to share these resources and updates with your staff, whether that's forwarding the newsletter or pulling bits and pieces out of it and sharing it a different way. We love if you do that. You can also attend Commute Seattle's events to learn about Commute best practices or to meet fellow ETCs and help learn from each other. So, as mentioned before, the other part of your role is to administer requirements. So, the first requirement is to do the CTR program report. This is completed by you or by you and your team, and it's an in-depth report asking about the types of benefits that your workplace offers to your employees. For example, whether you offer an Orca Pass or not, or another type of subsidy, whether there are things like bike parking or carpool spaces at your work site. So, questions like that. The next program report will be due in January of 2024. So the second thing here is the CTR commuter survey. So this is something where Commute Seattle provides you with a link to a survey, and you send that link to all of your employees, and you encourage them to fill it out, and you strive to get a 50% response rate. That can depend on the number of employees. We'll provide details when the survey is happening. The next survey is in October of 2022. So next, what are the goals that you're striving for under the CTR law? The law says that each affected employer must select at least 2 strategies from each category set out below. So the law lists 3 different categories: A, which is about employee communications and amenities, B, about subsidies and modal support, and C, about parking management. And then within these, there's a number of different strategies that you can employ to help encourage sustainable commuting at your workplace. So we track these by looking at your CTR program report and then aligning them with the different categories. So that is one goal, to get 2 different strategies from each of those categories, and that's something we're happy to have a meeting with you to discuss. The second goal is to achieve your drive alone rate goal. So each neighborhood in Seattle, which I'll show you on the next slide, has a different drive alone rate goal. So that is the percentage of people who are driving in a personal vehicle on their own to get to their work site. So your workplace's progress towards that DAR goal is measured through the results of the CTR commuter survey. So again, we're here to help you meet these goals of the CTR law and to help you implement strategies to get people to work sustainably and happy and healthy. So these are the goals. For example, I know I personally work with a lot of customers in the commercial core. So the next goal benchmark for that area is a drive alone rate of 15.2%. So that's the goal that people who are located in the commercial core will be striving for. Commute Seattle helps you track your goals with our interactive Tableau dashboard. One portion of the dashboard shows your program report responses and compares those to what other companies in your industry and in your network are offering. So it shows a great comparison. And the interactive Tableau dashboard also shows you your commuter survey results in a map form. So you can hover over a different zip code that your employees are originating from and see how many employees are leaving from that zip code and what modes they're using to do their commute. You're welcome to reach out to us and we can share the password with you so that you can access these dashboards. Now that we've talked about your role as an ETC, we can go over some of the outcomes that the CTR program has had citywide. So as you can see in this graph, downtown jobs have really increased over the years. And though more people have been commuting to downtown, we have seen the drive alone rate decrease, and that is the goal that we're striving for. So the main goal we talk about is the drive alone rate, and that's one of the main data points that you'll see the CTR program focus on. And this is what we're aiming to continue improving with all of our program and our offerings. Right here is a visualization of how people arrived downtown in 2019. So you can see that 74% of people arrived downtown via transit, bike, walk, carpool, and vanpool, or they didn't even commute at all. They teleworked. Only 26% of people drove alone in 2019. So we'll have new data on this that we'll be updating shortly, and we'll be looking to maintain this low drive alone rate. All right, so that's all I have for you today for our ETC onboarding training. Thanks so much for listening. You can always email us with any questions that you have at ctr@commuteseattle.com. Thank you.